This next order relates to the definition of birthright citizenship under the 14th Amendment of the United States.
Within hours of returning to the White House, President Trump signed a flurry of executive orders. Among them, one targeting birthright citizenship and the 14th Amendment, which grants citizenship to anyone born on U.S. soil. Dozens of states now challenging that executive order.
Denver 7's Veronica Acosta joining us live in studio tonight. Veronica, Colorado among one of those states that's signing up to be part of that lawsuit.
It is. And less than 24 hours since President Trump signed that executive order banning birthright citizenship, Colorado's Attorney General Phil Weiser, a part of that new lawsuit, calling what the president is trying to do, quote, unlawful. More than a dozen states, including Colorado, now suing President Trump over one of the many executive orders he signed on day one back in the Oval Office.
So we believe we've got a very strong and a winning case.
It's over the president's effort to ban birthright citizenship.
In an executive order, President Trump says he's going to overturn this constitutional guarantee. That's not how our system works.
In the executive order, U.S. citizenship doesn't automatically extend to those born in the U.S. when that person's mom was in the country unlawfully and dad wasn't a U.S. citizen or permanent resident at the time of their birth. Citizenship also wouldn't be extended to those whose mom had temporary status in the country while dad wasn't a citizen or permanent resident.
The executive order says that the children in those situations will no longer be treated as U.S. citizens and, for instance, directs the appropriate agencies to not provide passports and so on and so forth.
Ian Farrell, an assistant professor at DU's Sturm College of Law, says the problem is the executive order clashes with Section 1 of the 14th Amendment in the U.S. Constitution.
It says essentially that any person born in the United States to a person within the or under the jurisdiction of the United States shall have citizenship.
That's the issue Colorado's Attorney General and others across the country say they have.
He can't do that. And for a lot of Coloradans who are citizens because of this provision, this is a scary step.
But it's a step Farrell says will likely have to go through lots of legal hurdles. And Farrell told me he suspects lawyers for the Trump administration will likely argue the 14th Amendment doesn't apply in these situations because of the phrase, quote, under the jurisdiction of the United States.
Veronica, is there any language in this executive order that explains who exactly this would apply to in terms of a timeline?
Yeah, and Farrell did touch on that a little bit. He said what he gathered from reading the executive order is that it's not retroactive, meaning people who fall under these parameters and, for example, they wouldn't fall under this, they would be able to keep their citizenship. So that's something that is really important, something to keep in mind here.
Wow, there's certainly a lot of detail to consider there.
Yes. Denver 7's Veronica Acosta in studio for us tonight. Thank you, Veronica.
And let's revisit Trump ending arrest protections for immigrants in sensitive places. This reminded me of a story we covered for years here on Denver 7. The story of Jeanette Vizguera, who left Mexico, came to Colorado, and spent almost 3 years on and off in a church-seeking sanctuary. I called Vizguera today about learning or asking her, that is, her reactions to Trump's plan.
What would you say to your undocumented neighbors and community members who are very, very scared right now?
This no is the time they have scary. This is the time the learning, the organizing, the unify everybody for go together fight.
And what do you say to the...
And I asked Vizguera how she feels about being called a criminal for coming to the U.S. illegally.
All years I'm living here and pay taxes. Donald Trump no pay taxes. My charge for entering the system is one misdemeanor. Trump have 24 felonies. Who is the real criminal?
Vizguera says right now she's focused on creating a network of undisclosed safe places for undocumented immigrants.